Remember, we had one time Scottie Pippen come in here, one of the greatest basketball players of all time. And he showed up outside the building because he was in town doing a promotional appearance. And when he got out of the vehicle, the Range Rover, I said, there's a 7-foot African-American in front of the radio station. Mm-hmm. And Chris Demm said, that's Scottie Pippen. And I said, nuh-uh.
Lock the door.
I said, that ain't. Come on now. Well, That's when you double check. This glass is bulletproof around us.
Wait a minute. I've got a 7-foot man coming into the building.
Chris Demm said that is former NBA All-Star Scottie Pippen. I said, nuh-uh. There's no way.
I recognize him.
Okay.
Everyone does.
Dream Team, Bulls.
Okay, right. I didn't. Okay. All right. He comes in. We do what we always do. You want to come in and be interviewed? Okay. He comes in. He's interviewed. We talk to him. At one point, he was getting ready to go into the Hall of Fame. I say, who's doing your Hall of Fame induction speech? He says, Michael Jordan. I said, yeah, okay. He says, why are you laughing? Obviously, I can get Michael Jordan to do my okay, really?
Michael Jordan?
Who's sure. Then he walks out of the room, and you're like, well, obviously Michael Jordan would do his. They're friends.
Who else would do it?
At the time, at least.
Yeah,
they were inseparable. You couldn't think of one without the other.
Exactly. He's 5 years out of the league, Michael Jordan, obviously. But he says it to me, and it's like, okay, sure, okay. Well, yesterday, Tracy Morgan is on the Today Show. And he, like our own Biggie, he's slimming down. He's losing weight. And he was on that garbage time last hour thing. Okay. It's Jenna Bush Hager and Hoda Kotb interviewing Tracy Morgan, the comedian and actor. And they say, well, you look really good. You've lost some weight. And he says, yeah, I've been on Ozempic. And he wasn't joking.
By the way, you've been working on your body and on your health.
No, that's Ozempic. That's how this week got lost.
You're not. Are you really on Ozempic?
Ozempic. We ain't got a prescription, and I got Ozempic.
No, you did. Wait. Are you really on Ozempic?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't.
Damn, that was brilliant. The curse of Tracy Morgan. Everything he says, by the way, sounds funny.
Like a joke. Yeah. It sounds like
his delivery just sounds funny.
Oh, Ozempic.
You're so silly. Nope.
No, seriously, I'm on
Here's the hole in my stomach.
Yeah.
No, it's actually, it's true. It's true. He went on to tell him every Thursday he shoots himself in the stomach. And it's cut his appetite in half. So he's lost like 30 pounds. Those two. It's exactly what I would have done. Oh, my gosh.
Tracy. You're crazy, Tracy.
Oh, Tracy. Are you really? Oh, okay. And at the end,
By the way, you've been working on your body and on your health.
No, that's Ozempic.
The crew
lost. This week got lost.
You're not. Are you really on Ozempic?
Ozempic.
Listen, the crew's still laughing back
there. I got a prescription, and I got Ozempic.
No, you did. Wait. Are you really on Ozempic?
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, great.
Well, the curse of the comedian.
That's a serious.
Yeah.
And the ill-informed host.
Yeah.
And the ill-informed host, of course.
Yeah.
He's doing Ozempic. Okay, that's what he's done. All right, let's talk about it. Yesterday, I'm getting home from work. I get a text from Martha, who's up in sales. She goes, "Have you seen what's going on with The Blind Side?" I was like, "The Blind Side? You mean the 15-year-old movie?" By God, it's back in the news. Now, Michael Orr, who is the subject of the movie The Blind Side, who played in the NFL for the Ravens and Panthers, is suing the family who gave him their home, who opened their home and adopted him when he was back in high school.
Or did they?
Yeah. Apparently they didn't. You know the movie. This is now Sandra Bullock played and won the Academy Award for playing this woman in Blind Side.
Tony here's your quarterback, all right? You protect his blind side. When you look at him, you think of me. You have my back, how you have his, okay? All right, Tony, go back. All right. Oompa Loompa here is your tailback. When you look at him, you think of SJ and how you've never let anyone or anything hurt him.
SJ's their son, and that's a great scene where she walks onto the field and starts coaching him.
Ma'am,
We actually have a coach.
Now, Sean Toohey is played by Tim McGraw. That's Leanne Toohey you just heard, played by Sandra Bullock in the movie. And by the way, Sandra Bullock looks a lot like the actual Leanne Toohey. I've seen pictures of her all over the place.
Yeah, I've not seen the film, but when I did see the side-by-side stills of the real family, and of course they came up yesterday again on the news. Yeah.
Well,
the looks were very close.
Very. He's claiming that they made millions and millions of dollars off of him and off of the movie. He never saw a dime. And that those adoption papers he signed were fake, right? That he was forced to sign them.
It wasn't adoption papers. He says the adoption never happened. This is a conservatorship.
Much like Britney Spears.
Bingo. And that he is still under this conservatorship, but there was never an adoption.
Yep, that's right. And Orr wants them to terminate the conservatorship, force the Tooheys to forfeit all the money they made off the rights to his name, his story, and that movie, which is a lot of money.
How old is Mr. Orr now?
Now, let me think about this. The movie was made, and he's playing football at the time of the movie, which was 2009. I'm going to guess he's 40.
I was thinking 40.
I think he's 37.
Okay, 37.
Yeah, and
played in the NFL from 09 to 16, and secretly he says, "I hate that movie." I hate The Blind
Well, he
Side.
was always kind of when he would be asked about the movie. He was always kind of back and forth on it. Because, of course, you couldn't be seen slamming this movie about your life. But I know in the NFL, I think people would call him Blindside.
A lot of that.
They'd be like, hey, there's Blindside. And I think it kind of held back his NFL career a little.
You do?
Yeah, he was very highly touted and then just didn't really perform. But I think mentally it was probably tough, always being Blindside.
Did you guys see the angle? Because I've not read the book or seen the movie, but I think according to Orr's lawsuit and his testimony, he said that people looked at him as learning disabled, as being slow.
Well, that's what they made him look like in the movie.
Yeah.
Now, you hear her coming out onto the field there. It's because he's just kind of standing around, doesn't know what he's doing.
And that's his big complaint. I looked stupid.
He said that multiple times. Like, it makes me look dumb.
Yeah.
And it does. I mean, it makes him look really slow, like she has to do everything for him, and that all he can do is he's big and, big muscle head.
Was this family? I'm certain they're wealthy now because of the story. Was the family well-to-do before?
They were doing fine. They owned some restaurants, I believe.
Oh, they were doing very well.
Yeah,
they at least in the movie, he owned a ton of Taco Bell chains.
Yeah,
is what he owned. The husband owned Taco Bell, a bunch of franchises.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is going to be true or what comes out true. But also, it was that the family made deals during the movie, like about the movie, and Orr never got any of that.
I'm sure
each family member got like 2.5%. Even their son, which I've seen the video of,
he's young.
Their son, but now he's an adult,
right?
And they were basically asking him, "When do you remember getting like your first check for the movie?" And he's like, "Well, I was at lunch with my dad, and he handed me a check for like $12,000." And he was like, "Oh, we get paid for this too?" He's like, "Yeah, the family gets paid for it," but Orr never got anything. They never included him in any of the deals, according to this lawsuit.
Do we know from the lawsuit when Orr discovered the alleged paperwork?
I do not know that, but it seems to me like he's sort of known this all along. My interpretation of it is he thought, well, I get a good deal because I get to live with this family. They provided me this. They got me into football. But now it seems to me like he's sort of waking up to the fact, well, wait a minute. They made a ton of money off this.
They didn't make his football money, though, did they? The family?
No, he got that. I would think he's not claiming that. He's claiming they made a bunch of money off of his name and the story. And now in the movie, to go back to how wealthy they were, I don't know their exact wealth. In the movie, they're shown to have a very, very nice house, really nice cars, and he talks about the restaurants he owns. The husband, played by Tim McGraw. That guy, by the way, Sean Toohey, denies every bit of this and says, "I'm devastated that our beloved, Michael Orr would say something."
Well, to me, this should be real easy because there's either going to be adoption paperwork or there's going to be conservatorship paperwork. And that should solve it right there on who's lying.
Go down to the county clerk's office?
Yeah.
But if the man's signature is on either piece of paperwork, how do you prove that it wasn't shown in good faith? These are conservatorship papers. You need to sign
But
them.
he's saying from the beginning, he thought he was being adopted.
Yeah, Orr said, I think whatever he signed, he thought was he was told it's part of the adoption process, even though it never went through.
But all that is his word. If his signature is on a piece of paper, then how are you? Then the family members could say this was explained to him.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, all they have
Yeah.
to say is it's just it's not any. The only thing signed is the document, no matter what it is.
How old was Orr when the quote unquote? Do we know when the adoption went through?
He was
high
over
school age?
He was over 18 actually, which makes this more interesting too, because he says, these people still. That's why he wants out from. They still have control of his life, basically, and that's like he's much like Britney Spears saying,
Yeah.
I don't need a conservatorship.
Yeah.
I went out from under this, but he was over 18.
Was he in high school? He was in high school.
He was in high school when
because they wanted him to go to Ole Miss. Because
Yes.
that's where they went. There was in the movie. That's all based on the movie. There was some. They were accused of like recruiting violations because
The school?
the
family.
family was like funneling him toward Ole Miss, and once he got there was like an accusation of, oh, wait a minute, this was wrong, you know, this kind of thing toward Ole Miss, and the other schools didn't have a chance. You were paid to put him to Ole Miss, that kind of thing. But at the end, it turned out great. He went to the NFL. It was just a really great story. I mean, if you believe the story. Lynn, you wanted to comment on the Blind Side. Go ahead.
Good morning, folks. Hope you're all doing well.
Very well, thank you.
Another thing that Orr has said from the very beginning after the movie came out was the movie makes out like he's never played football before until then, till he's in high school. But he had played Little League, he played in school. I mean, he had played football.
That's true. In the movie, it does appear like, hey, you're big. You could probably play. You're big and slow. Let's put you out there and protect this guy's
Put you in pads and get out there.
But all of that, thank you, Lynn, appreciate it. But all of that is dramatic license. It's like, oh, they do that in movies. They never actually say, well, he's never played before. They say, oh, you could play football and put him out there. You know how that goes in movies. The plot of the movie to me is no big deal. If they lied to him and said, we're adopting you, and then basically had him sign something under false pretense and took all his money, that's a big one.
But I wonder why, if the lawsuit is to be believed, why the family says they never adopted him, if there's no adoption.
Well, does the family, I don't even know if the family says they've adopted him or not. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe if I were the family, I'd be thinking, well, I couldn't adopt him. He was over 18 years old, so I put him under conservatorship so I could help his career. That would be my spin on it. But I don't know the law except for, I almost went to law school. Eric, you're talking about Blind Side. Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Doing well. What do you have to add to this?
All right, so I heard the news about all this yesterday when I got home, and of course, being a fan of the movie, I had to do my deep dive. And Barstool yesterday interviewed the kid, former kid, SJ, and from the sounds of it, it sounds like Orr's got a book coming out, and this is very timed along with all that as kind of like a publicity stunt.
I see. So he wants eyes on his book.
This could make him look bad, though, in the court of public opinion.
Yeah, I'm not sure how people fall.
People love the story. People loved the story. People love Sandra Bullock, by and large.
It's true. I mean, she really. When after the story was done, the family was looked at as wonderful people who had really helped this young man out, and he became an NFL star. That's true. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it. One more quick one on this. Dan O, you're talking about Blind Side. Go ahead.
Yeah, P1 Dan O, Pinehurst. So what I was reading about this, the window for them to adopt Michael was very short. It was like 2 years, and by the time they were getting around to it, he had turned 18, and there was really no way they could legally adopt him at that point.
Well, that's what I was thinking they'd say. So you can't legally adopt, so we put him under this, which is the next best thing, so we could help him with his career. That's be the way I'd spin it if I were the family or the lawyer for the family.